Hey everyone, Christmas Eve is here and I'm so excited to celebrate it with you. OP's boss tries to strongarm OP into canceling his Christmas vacation. OP resigns. Chaos ensues. Nothing says holiday spirit more than a boss trying to steal your vacation. I cannot wait to see how the boss gonna deal with the chaos he created. I was brainwashed at an early age that loyalty and hard work would add countless zeros to my paycheck. We all been there. I remained optimistic after receiving year after year of 3% raises and working holidays. I missed my children's first steps, their school functions, and other life events so I could make the CEO more money. This is the classic miss your life so I can buy my next yacht strategy. It is truly amazing, especially if you are the CEO in the story. After the passing of my stepfather and my boss calling me during the funeral, asking me to troubleshoot an issue while my mom cried into my shoulder, enough was enough. I changed companies and made a personal pledge to put my family first and my career a distant third or fourth. Good for you, OP, to finally stepping away from this toxic company. Fast forward to present day, I find myself as the cornerstone of our department. Many of our clients' processes are automated through custom API developed by me. I have maintained a thorough documentation library on how to support the API, the reports, and all of its dependencies. I have offered to train backup so we are not single-threaded. My manager told me, "No way, we would never do anything to lose you." Up to now, life was good. Is it just me, or is that a red flag that there are some stuff that only OP can deal with? What happens if he's on vacation? They gonna call him and bother him? Or they're not gonna deal with it until he's back? That sounds madness to me. At the beginning of December, ABC Company was audited by the government and found to be out of compliance. They hired my company to regain their compliance by the end of the year or risk fines near $750,000. ABC Company dragged their feet getting us the information we needed to start on the work. Why? Wasn't that their best interest that you guys would start the work? I saved my vacation days so I can take the week between Christmas and New Year's off. I spend it with my kids to make up for all the time I lost when I worked when they were younger. This time is very precious to me. As you should, bestie. I'm sure your kids appreciating your efforts. Last week and this week, I have been notifying the project manager and my manager about my time off. I let them know I would need ABC Company's information soon so I can start on it. I offered to work extra hours to ensure my piece would be finished prior to Christmas Eve. So you went above and beyond. On Tuesday, my manager calls me and tells me ABC Company finally sent the data over I requested over 2 weeks ago. He looked beaten because he knew what was about to happen. I told him who should I walk through the project with because I'm off after Christmas. My manager says, "I'm sorry, but I have to ask you to work. I declined your time next week." How about no? By the way, this thing happened to me as well. I saved up my days for Christmas because I suspected that it would be my boyfriend's last Christmas probably. My boss said no, so I quit on the spot. I asked what happened to my vacation time. My boss says, "I'm sorry, you know the rules, use it or lose it. I fought for you but HR wouldn't budge." You mean the days that OP requested to use and you declined without even having a conversation with him? The audacity of this guy. I drafted my resignation letter after the call, set it to delay delivery on Monday at 8 a.m. and closed up shop, as you should, OP. Walking after that call, peak self-respect energy. ABC Company will pay $700,000 because nobody knows how to program that system since there is no backup. And whose fault is that? Your boss is awful at his job. Our other clients will be expecting their monthly, quarterly, and annual reports within the first week of January. No one knows how to do this. That's very odd since every business education teaches how to make annual reports. I have a degree in marketing and I had a lot of economics classes. And usually, these type of jobs require a university degree, so somehow the math ain't mathing at your company. We had 6 projects in progress involving extensive API and reporting. Now these projects are dead in the water. 7 clients prepaid for API and automation upgrades in 2022 quarter 1. I don't know what will happen to those. Please remember, family first, you never get that time back. I have to agree with OP 100%, especially because how his boss went behind his back with his vacation time. Basically, he just took it away and didn't give him anything. Family is truly comes first, and no bonus or project worth losing those moments you can never get back. Let's see what happened after this because OP left kind of an update. Throughout the day, the manager and CEO send a barrage of texts and phone calls. One of my coworkers finds the documentation and fixes the reports. Later in the afternoon, he is served corrective action because he was accountable for processing the corrupted file and did not find the documentation faster. He tells me the manager, HR, and the CEO spent all night finding evidence to support the corrective action. I tell him to get his resume up to date. Good advice. Total downtime 16 hours. Around 3 p.m., I get a phone call from a new number. It was the client's business manager. I explained to her the delay of getting data until Christmas, despite multiple requests, the loss of a full week PTO, the text messages/phone calls, and my offer to come back to help her company reach compliance. The business manager told me a different story. Let me guess. Everything is your fault. The manager and CEO called her earlier to inform her I quit and I am selling the project as ransom in order to obtain more money. It is always the same story, isn't it? Higher-ups never take accountability for what they did or what they created. They always create a scapegoat. I explained how one could skew this view, but I am not actively seeking to return. After observing how the company treats their employees and after being treated post-resignation, I have no interest in returning to the company. The business manager asked me what terms, rate, signing bonus, etc. what I was seeking to return to my former company. She tells me she will call back in an hour and not respond to any more texts from the manager or CEO. Are you gonna get a new and better job for Christmas? CEO text. Did the business manager call you? Did she give you a piece of her mind? Yes, she called. And the rest is none of your business. Manager text. I bet the business manager is going to make you personally pay for the fine. Why would she, when it's so much easier to hire him? The business manager calls me back on a conference call and asks, what do you need to finish this project? Software, data, tools, etc. I give her a list of everything I need. I answer other questions related to the project. She says, here's the plan. We are going to offer you a contract to finish this API for us by the end of the year for double the hourly rate you asked. If you can finish by 31st of December, we will give you the shining bonus. After the new year, we will see where we are staffing-wise and maybe we can find you a spot, but there is no guarantee, especially if you do not finish the project. Is that a deal? Awesome. Where can he sign? I agreed to the terms. I informed to put terms in writing and I can start as soon as IT gives me a virtual machine. The business manager says, no problem. Legal checked the contract and there is a clause stating if your former company is unable to perform a function which they agreed to do, we are able to outsource it to a third party and charge the company for it. I just need them to state they are unable to perform the API function and we will bill them for your time. Oh my god. It's not even that OP got a new job, maybe. But also ABC company going to bill OP's former employer to pay for OP's time. And they pay him double. This is almost as delicious as the Christmas turkey. The story was amazing, but we're going to move on to the next one. A true Christmas story to warm your heart. I'm so ready for some wholesome Christmas tale. When our younger daughter Holly was in 3rd grade, her school put up a giving tree. hang with cards displaying the needs and wants of local, underprivileged children. As we picked her up from school one afternoon, Holly asked if she could choose a name from the tree and announced that she wanted to help a young girl asking for clothes. Aw, Holly is so cute. Hubby and I stood back and watched our little girl read carefully over each description until she found just the right one, plucked it from the tree, and we headed out to shop. As we drove to Holly's favorite store, she, her dad, and I established a budget for the project. And I promised to keep track of her purchases so she would be free to focus on picking just the right items. And upon entering the girls' clothing department, our daughter was a woman on a mission. She grabbed pants, skirts, sweaters, tops, even accessories. I was informed that accessories often make the outfit. Holly is very right. Laying each item out of critical review of not just their fashion-forward look, but their mixability. Holly was adamant that each piece should go with the others to form multiple possible outfits. Holly is very good at what she's doing. In a couple of years, this might be what she's gonna actually do. Some 2 hours of careful shopping later, Holly had completed her choices and met her budget, and we headed to the checkout. As we approached the checkout, Holly spotted a mannequin behind the counter dressed in a skirt and sweater outfit that drew her up short. "Oh, Mom," she said, staring at the admittedly very cute but rather pricey outfit. "Holly, you already spent all your money," I gently admonished, seeing where her mind was going. "But Mom," she responded, "this is so cute and she'd never be able to get something like it for herself." I really should have known our precious daughter would try to exceed her budget, as this was her way, so I prepared to give her a parenting lesson and replied, "Honey, you can get it for her, but you have to put something else back." Holly looked down at her armload of mix and match items, all carefully calculated to ensure a week of adorable outfits. Then up at the mannequin in the special outfit, then back at her armload of clothes and turned brightly to me. "Can we get it if we take some of my presents back?" Holly is so precious. Protect her in all costs. My husband and I were stuck utterly mute, paralyzed by a pride and admiration so intense it took our breath before we could move or respond in any way. The clerk, who had been watching the exchange from behind the counter, came from behind the checkout and plucked the special outfit off the rack. Kneeling in front of Holly, eyes shining tears, she said, "Tell her, this one is from me." It was suddenly Holly's turn as stunned silence before throwing her free arm around the woman's neck in a hug of shocked gratitude. We moved to the checkout, so choked with emotion, we spoke little, if at all, as the clerk rung up and discounted our purchases, including the special outfit, ensuring Holly's budget was pretty much met. She then leaned across the counter to look in our daughter's face and says a heartfelt thank you. And she cannot even imagine how much she made that little girl's Christmas. In the car, Holly bubbled over, commenting on the clerk thanking her. "She's the one who did something special," she said. "Oh, sunshine," I thought, "if you only understood." It's funny, isn't it, how one beautiful act can so quickly spread to others, enabling them to act on what is best in themselves. Hubby and I developed a belief in Santa that day almost 30 years ago. And we never forgot the lesson so astutely delivered by a little girl and a stranger who together made Christmas so perfectly real. This story absolutely wrenched me in the best way. The kindness, the selflessness, the compassion that can spread from one person to the other. It is everything that I want to believe that people are capable of. Opie's daughter had a heart bigger than Christmas itself. We have time for one more story. My childhood Christmas story. When I was young, probably no older than 4, Mom took big sisters, aged 6, and I to a bike store, and we picked out a great bike for Dad for Christmas. Mom told us we had to keep it a secret. She hid the bike at the neighbors to the right's house. Not long after that, Dad took us and I to the exact same bike shop, and we picked out a bright red bike for Mom for Christmas. Opie's parents were soulmates. He told us we had to keep it a secret. He hid the bike at the neighbor across the street's house. This is so precious. The fact that both parents did the same thing is peak wholesome. On Christmas Eve, S and I leaped out of bed in the middle of the night to go look at the tree. There were bikes out there. We giggled at the big surprise and went back to sleep, waiting until we were allowed to wake up and open all the presents. When we are allowed to get up, we raced out the living room to see that the bikes we seen in the middle of the night were, in fact, super duper awesome pink BMX bikes for S and me. We got bikes! Mom snuck out of the room and went and got that shiny black new bike, and he started to laugh. He went and got her bright red bike. Everyone got bikes that year. The amazing thing to me is that S and I managed to go to the same bike shop twice and keep the bike secret from both of our parents for weeks. And that our parents decided to get us bikes, but didn't slip that they also got each other's bikes. So that's the story of the year of the bikes, my favorite Christmas memory. This feels like a scene out of a Christmas movie. Everyone plotting, everyone surprising each other, but somehow the secrets are held. Truly, the perfect type of childhood magic. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. If you did, please subscribe. I wish you a very Merry Christmas and see you tomorrow.